Hello, hello, hello. I am author and entrepreneur, the cerebral palsy vigilante, Zachary Fennell. Today is Thursday, February 4th, a little after 10 in the morning, and this is Making of a Memoir, my video series documenting the hard work involved in writing and self-publishing a book. Right now, I have the book I'm working on is a memoir about becoming a marathoner. A journey that started first with thinking a marathon would be too unreasonable for me because of my cerebral palsy. I decided I'll do a half marathon. And I'm at the point in my book now where I've crossed the finish line of that half marathon. And in writing my book, I've written it out of order, which is actually not uncommon for me. My first book, Off Balance, my cerebral palsy memoir about learning to embrace my disability as a part of who I am rather than being embarrassed about being different. I wrote this also like by the chapter. I had an outline of this is everything I want to cover in the book, and I just wrote different chapters and then melted everything back together, went through to edit to make sure everything flowed since the chapters were written out of order. Anyways, the whole point is I wrote Off Balance out a little bit out of order. I've done the same thing with this current work in progress. At the end of April or last May, I started this Making of a Memoir series. And I opened a document and I went. And I just picked a point and I went from there. And I picked the point of I'm registering to do the full marathon and going from there. And I kept that. This is after I had already, earlier in 2016, before I even did the half marathon, because originally this book was going to be about completing a half marathon. Before I even did the half marathon, I started on the early chapters. Well, we're going to be the first couple of chapters. So I had like 3-4 chapters written there. I've skipped ahead, all the way ahead to the registering part, where I'm registering for the marathon. And I'm writing that, and then computer troubles left me stopping at a point where I'm on like the second half of the marathon. In between, and then when I got my computer back, I decided I'm just going to build that bridge going from those first early chapters to the point where I'm registering. So over the last several months, you have watched me continue to write. I've been writing out, building that bridge, connecting everything. And I'm to the point now where after months of work, I'm at the point where today and possibly tomorrow, I'll be connecting what I've been working on for the past several months to what I had written the end of April, May, beginning of June before I had computer issues. The first step in that is going to be right now. I'm about to go and reread what I had written in that registering chapter, because I'm certain there's going to be parts of that chapter that I will be, already mentioning or needing to refer to in this chapter that connects everything and connects that bridge. So that is what I'm about to do. Be back later with an update. Good evening. It is still Thursday, February 4th, closing in on 9 o'clock. My Word document is up to a word count of 35,879 words. For that Word document word count where that compares to the beginning of the day is an increase of 1,366 words. Now, this isn't all new words though. I had the portion that I'm connecting to, as I talked about, on a different Word document, and some of those words I had copied over into this chapter, but ultimately it's still going to be, as of right now, what I have is probably close to 70,000 words. We'll find out soon enough. I think what the chapter I'm working on right now has kind of become a hybrid chapter of where I've left off into where I had started in April and May. And so that hybrid chapter should be complete tomorrow and allow me to then bring everything over and have one Word document finally. And I won't be finished tomorrow. I still have to work some more on the end of the book, but I'm getting there. Greetings! We are here today, Saturday, February 6th, 3:30 in the afternoon. The bridge is built. I worked on the book yesterday. You didn't see any update from me. I worked on it this morning. What I was doing was building the bridge, that connectivity from the beginning of the book that I've been working on towards the end of the book, which I started on in April and May of last year. It took a little longer than I expected because the 2 chapters I had started on the second half of the book, essentially, those 2 chapters ended up doing a lot of rearranging of what I'd written, adding some more in, again, to make everything cohesive. But now I'm at a point where I just need to copy and paste the rest of the chapters I have in. And then I'm at the point where I believe I left off I was on that final march to the finish line. So still got a little bit more to write. First though, I'm going to get everything into one Word document and have one word count. From Saturday to Wednesday, February 10th, almost 3:30 in the afternoon. Took a few days, but over the past few days, I copied and pasted everything, brought everything into a one Word document. I'm at over 72,000 words for the manuscript. It's time to, now that the copying and pasting is done, I can get into finished writing. So here we go. Stopping in for another update, still Wednesday, February 10th. Closing in on 7:30. Really getting a roll on the words I have left to write. I have about 700, a little more than 700 words written. I set a timer starting the 3 o'clock hour, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 6 o'clock hour. I set a timer for 26 minutes, 2 seconds. Again, that representative of 26.2 miles that it takes to do a marathon. And I've just been sitting down with each of those timers and writing close to a little over 700 words right now. I have to get ready it is Wednesday. I have to get ready for CP chat now tonight. As of right now, I feel like afterwards I'm going to jump back in and write more. but we'll see how I feel at 10 o'clock. So let's see. A final update for Wednesday, February 10th, about 10:40 in the evening. I'm pumped. After CP chat now, I sat down, typed up a little bit more, got myself to a good stopping point. Tomorrow I work in the evening, so I'm going to use the day just to continue writing. I'm feeling optimistic that by Sunday I'm going to have a complete manuscript. Maybe not the final version, but I'm going to have a complete manuscript to edit. So I'm going to continue this making of a memoir tomorrow. Hello for Thursday, February 11th, 3:10 in the afternoon. Well, I was super productive this morning into early afternoon. I've added 1,033 words to my manuscript, getting closer and closer to having a complete draft to edit. Really exciting. Unfortunately, though, I have to go to work tonight, work at 5, so I need to have that in my mind and start doing what I need to do before going to work. I have tomorrow off, and my plan is to continue to work on the book tomorrow. 1,000 words at least. We'll worry about that tomorrow. Right now, I'm going to finish wrapping up this making of a memoir episode so I can get it ready to be published on YouTube. And like I said, I go into work. So if you've liked this episode of making of a memoir, I've covered a week's worth of time from the copying and pasting everything into one document to continuing and work on those final chapters now. A lot was covered. Cheer me on as I continue to work on this manuscript. Hit the thumbs up icon below. Show YouTube, show the world, encourage me that you've liked this video. If you have questions about writing and self-publishing a book, do ask them in the comments below. I will answer your questions in a future making of a memoir episode. For more from me, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel and have rung the bell icon to receive notifications every time I publish a new video. Until next time, remember, don't blend in, blend out.